Okay, so we're going to look at the back of the AD300Pro at the different functions that it has. So we'll go into the actual custom functions. We'll have a look at the different modes. We'll have a look how you turn your channel to a channel that you need to be on. How to turn off and on the radio signal for your wireless transmission. Also the test switch, etc., etc. So I'm going to start here at the bottom right side of the actual light. So literally you'll see that there's like a little locking switch. This actually enables you to unclip the battery and take the battery out. Okay, so literally to put the battery back in, you just push it in until it clicks, and that is pretty much it. So the battery on here is, for the AD300s, is the WB300PA. Alright, so the next button, which is your power button. This requires you to actually do a long press to actually switch on the light. It's almost like a safety feature. If the button is actually in your bag and it hits up against something, that it just doesn't switch on with a little tap. Okay, so it's there. I like to transport my my lights with the batteries out, and I have my batteries in a separate compartment, and then I don't have to worry about having anything long pressing this and switching the light on and possibly overheating in the bag. Okay, so let's just switch this one on. As you can see, it now brings up the display. So make sure we got focus in so you can see the stuff properly there. Okay, so what do we have here? So from the bottom, I'm going to work from the bottom up. Here is just like a little power indicator light. The same icon you have on your switch is actually here on the actual back of the strobe. Then the other one on the bottom here is a little speaker with 3 little lines coming from it saying that your beep is enabled on your light. Something that you may not have on your display because you haven't switched it on in your custom functions is actually your T0.1 flash durations. So literally this tells me what my flash duration is on my strobe. The reason I have this enabled is because I do a lot of stuff that requires fast flash durations. I do a lot of freezing of stuff in studio, so that's why I like to have that enabled. Okay, then the next figure up is your power. So that is now 64. So literally to change this value, you can use your scroll, and as you see it can go down in tenths. So if you can actually have it up in, you can have it adjustable by a third, or you can do it up in like a tenth of a stop going up. If you want to change a full stop manually on the light, you push in the set button and you scroll to the direction you want. So literally it will change one full stop from whatever you're at. Okay. Then we have what our group is. So currently this light is on group A. Okay, so literally that is there. Then we have on the top corner here, we have the battery indicator, shows you what level your battery is at. Then we have a an M which is indicating I'm in manual mode. So literally this is the mode indicator. So if I was in TTL or if I was in multi-mode, this center one will actually change to whatever mode I'm in. Then next we have the channel, and you'll see there the radio or the wireless icon in the corner there with the channel to say that we are communicating from our trigger to this light. We need to be on channel 32 and that the actual wireless functionality is switched on. Okay, so let's go through the buttons. The buttons here are obviously your power button, which we've turned on. To turn it off, you just quick push. To turn it on, long push. Okay. Then you have your test button. So literally that's just a test fire. Then we have our wireless button. So this has two functions to the actual button. So literally I can turn off the wireless. So you'll see this on the top here. We no longer have our channel. We no longer have our wireless functionality for the trigger communication. So turn that back on and you'll see your wireless indicator is there and your channel is back. If you do a long push on this one, it will basically put your light into high speed sync mode, okay, or high speed sync. So literally from your trigger you can also set that by pushing the sync button and to tell your light that you're going to be firing in high speed sync, so it's all in sync. Okay, so to turn off high speed sync, I can turn off on the button there, or I can turn off on the trigger. Okay. The next button up is actually our group and our channel button. So as I mentioned, we are in group A. So by pushing the group button quickly once, I'm in group B, group C, group D, group E, back to group A. Okay, so literally that is how you would change what group your light is going to be firing on. So on your trigger, you would have all your groups A, B, C, D, E, where you can actually, by pushing those, you can then change the power setting for your light. All right, so then doing a long push on this button. Let's just hold this one there. Doing a long push would actually give you your channel actually starting to flash. Then you come down to your set button or your set scroll. Your scrolling, you can actually change your channel right the way down to 1 right up to 32. And then you just push set. You just push the scroll button or the scroll in and it sets it. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. So that's your group and your channel. Then we come across to our mode button. Our mode button, remember, changes this top icon section, which is currently on manual. If we actually push this mode, we can go to multi. Multi is quite fun if you're going to be doing some sort of creative movement type shooting. I'll put a little explanation on this. So the lowest power you can go down to on multi-mode is a quarter power, okay? And then if you notice that change from 10 till 6, because now it's the amount of recycling at this power over the period that it's going to take to do its multi-flashing. It can only do 6 flashes for that power over the duration. So literally if I do, and there's your 6 flashes. Okay. If I need to change this, so say I wanted to change this down to 4, so I only want to do 4 flashes. But now what I want to do is I want to make it so it's actually a shorter duration of flashes. So where we saw those flashes were very, if I want to now make those faster, I will actually go up on my hertz. But you'll notice that as you go up on your hertz, that means now it's gonna, I think your amount of flashes at that power, so going down to 2 flashes at that power, it now reduces that. Okay, so let me just go up to 128 and change this to 4 flashes. I'm going to change this to 20. So what it's going to do is going to now give us very fast, see, so you see that the higher the hertz is, the shorter the duration between flashes. So if I bring this right the way down to 3 again, there's your 4 flashes. Okay, so that's your multi-mode. I often use this if I have a dancer in the studio and I want to capture the movement with some material from one side of the studio to the other. It works very, very cool, and it gives you a nice creative feel. So I'm clicking the mode button again, and this will give you your TTL. So your TTL now will obviously be the communication from your metering system on your camera. This can be adjusted on your trigger as well to go -3 to +3 from that, just to create some adjustments, brightness and stuff adjustments on TTL. And let me just go back to manual mode. So yeah, and then I'm mainly shooting in manual mode. I may use TTL when I'm out and about and I just want to get a sort of a quick, even exposure without spending too much time. So the next button here is now your it has your 3 lines on it, which is, I think they normally call it a hamburger menu option. So literally you push that in and that will take you into your custom functions. So your custom functions, F1 is to turn your beep on and off. To actually change the setting, you just push in on the scroll and scroll, and you can turn it on and off quite easily. Okay, next one, F2, which is your slave 1, slave 2. So if you're using this as an optical slave unit, then you can just change your flash into a slave. Then we've got F3, which is, what happens is if you leave your light on and it's not being used, it will switch off. You'll see the little power button icon there, referring to the fact that it will switch the light off after 30 minutes of not being in use. This can be changed to 60, 90, or off. I don't like to have it off because then literally your battery will run dry if you don't switch your light off. Okay. F4 is delay. So delay, you can go from 30th of a second to, I think it's 100th of a second. Turn it off. So I don't really use delay. I haven't really used delay, but I know some people do. Right, so function 5 is a way that you can actually put your lights on alternate firing. So the AD300Pro has N1 and it has N2. Okay, unlike its bigger brother, the AD400, which has alternate up to 4 different alternate setups. And what this actually allows you to do is actually, say for instance, I've got my one AD300Pro sitting on a background light, and I've got another 300Pro sitting as a key light. This actually enables me to just fire my background light with the one click of my camera. So I'll take the pic, just fires off the backlight. The next click I do, it only fires then your key light, because I've told it the background one to be N1, the key light to actually be N2. So it's a way you can actually create in-camera mask of your actual subject. So a lot of product photographers have probably used this to do certain things on product shoots. Okay. Then we have our T01 flash duration. As I said, I have this enabled on my lights. I like to see this duration here, so I can actually see what that flash duration is actually sitting at. As I said, it can be turned on or off. So literally, if I turn it off and I go back to the menu, that's literally what you're going to see. I think default it is off when you actually have your factory defaults. But as I said, I like to actually have it on. And you just turn and push in the scroll, and then it's set. Alright, so F7 function 7 is actually your ID. So this is where you can set up an ID on your light. It just gives you an extra safety on if you are, say for instance, giving a workshop and somebody now pulls out their trigger and they're on the same channel and they push the test switch, it fires your lights off because there's no ID set on the light. So between the trigger and the light, you can actually set that ID up and make it so it cannot be fired off by anybody else. Okay, so that's F7. Right, so the IDs, you can go from 99 right the way down to 1. So there's quite a lot of IDs you can actually select from. Function 8, so our F8 menu is our color mode. I think on default your color mode is off. The reason why I leave mine off mostly anyway is because it will affect your flash durations. So if I turn it on, you'll see now that the test switch is now flashing and it's now beeping. It requires, when you set this onto color mode, it requires you to do almost like a dump. So then it's now set into that mode, a color mode. And you'll see the T1 flash duration has come right the way down to 4270, where having the color mode actually off, it's 5180. So that is your custom functions. So that's all the way from F1 up to F8. If you push your modeling lamp and your custom menu or your custom functions menu together, that will actually do a factory reset on your strobe. So it will take you back to all the default settings. So if you do change something and you're not quite unsure how to get everything back, you can just do a reset and start from scratch again. Okay, so then we come down to the modeling lamp. So this is the modeling lamp button. Okay, so pushing this on will actually obviously turn on the modeling lamp. I don't know if you can see that in the video. You might be able to see a bit of reflection on the table. Turning on, turning off is just a quick push. if I want to adjust the modeling lamp, so literally this is, you can see that it's flashing on power 10. That means it's full power on the modeling lamp. You can bring that right the way down to 1. Okay, so you can change the actual power output of the modeling lamp. Then if I push in the set scroll again, it will take me to the Kelvin values. So this will actually change the temperature of the actual light itself. Just go back to, so we're sitting on 6000 Kelvin, which is more of a white bluey light. So you can come down in 500 increments. So 4005, 4000, 3500, right the way down to 3000. So it goes from 3000 to 6000 Kelvin on the modeling lamp. And you can see, you can probably see in the video on how it's changing there. Okay. So then I come down to the set button. So you'll see me throughout the whole sort of custom functions in the modeling lamp. We were using the scroll wheel, and we were using the push of the scroll wheel as which is the setting. So if I want to change power, I can change power on my strobe at 1/10 increments. So it goes up to 9, and then it changes to 132. If I want to go and change a full stop on its own, I push in the scroll wheel and then turn, and I can actually change a full stop on the power. So that's got another little function there which some people do miss. But obviously, if you've got the Godox system throughout, you would actually have one of these, and you'll be able to control all your power settings without touching this light whatsoever. But it's important to know what each button and everything does on the back of this light. And I think that's about all of them. So yeah, so there you go. And you'll see, obviously, as the power goes up, the fluctuations go down. And as I go right the way down to minimum power, I'm sitting at 10,200 of a second flash duration. And you'll notice the little modeling lamp icon will be next to your power icon at the bottom to tell you that your modeling lamp is on, although you should be able to see that, but it's there indicated at the bottom. Okay, I think if there's anything else that you guys need to know about the menu system or the custom settings of the AD300 Pros, you can leave me a comment and I will try and get back to you quite quickly about it. If you are based in SA and you're a photographer or even an upcoming photographer or someone that just likes to do photography for a hobby, these are a great little compact strobe. If you actually look at the actual size of this thing, it really is nice, a real nice size, and a great strobe to actually use on location or in studio. And I really use these lights a lot, and I'm looking forward to getting some more of these in studio. So if you are looking to get these, you can actually go to godox.co.za. They have the AD300 Pros, they have the AD200 Pros, they have the AD400s, but the AD300s are there. If you are looking to purchase one of these, you can go ahead and purchase from godox.co.za. You can use my code, which is godoxcarld, and that will give you an additional discount when you do purchase from the godocs.co.za site. And as I said, yeah, I think that's about it. Anything else on this, drop me a comment, and as I said, I'll try and get back to you. And thanks for watching, and we will catch you online again soon. Cheers.